Hey fam, welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see from the title of this video, I am pregnant. Okay. As you guys can see, I'm obviously super excited. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Gino and I are both like extremely excited because, you know, this is obviously a blessing. Like, this is literally a blessing straight from God, and we are like so thankful to, you know, to be able to conceive, to be able to get pregnant, you know, and carry children. And so that is something that, you know, we definitely don't take for granted. And so we're super excited. We cannot wait to meet this little baby. And for those of you guys who don't know, this is my second pregnancy. My first pregnancy ended actually this past year in 2019, and that ended in a loss with my son, Kyle. And so I'll go more into that story with a little more detail in another video. If you guys want to see that, make sure to leave some comments or DM me. But I'll definitely be telling, you know, my pregnancy story and his birth story and all of that in another video. But yes, so we are pregnant again, and we are super excited. So we can't wait to take you guys along on this journey with us. I mean, I wish that I had recorded everything during my first pregnancy, you know, not only for our memory, but just to share with you guys kind of what's going on in our lives and what it really looks like, you know, to be pregnant from our eyes. So yeah, that is what this video is going to be about. As usual, if you guys like this video, remember to like, remember to comment down below, and to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. Make sure you guys turn on that little bell notification too, so that you never miss one of my videos. I'll be releasing a lot of pregnancy videos and just lifestyle videos in general. So I am excited for that. And I'm also extremely out of breath. But yeah, so along with, you know, that announcement, I'm going to be giving you guys a first trimester update. And the reason I'm giving you guys a first trimester update is because right now I am currently 15 weeks pregnant, 15 weeks and some days. So a lot has happened since we first found out that we were pregnant. And, you know, like we were really keeping it a secret, but we also didn't really announce it either. So I'm going to be giving you guys a little bit of details about how we found out, and, you know, how I told Gino, even though we kind of found out together, and all of that good stuff, my symptoms, things like that. So yeah, stay tuned if you guys want to see more of that. And with that, you know, let's just kind of get right into the video. Okay, so first things first, finding out that we're pregnant. Oh my gosh, okay. After I had my son in October of 2019, it was the end of October, it was, well, we basically obviously were devastated. You know, we were devastated, and but we still wanted to have kids. Like, we've always wanted to have kids pretty early on in our marriage, and, you know, also because we're young, like, we want to have kids while we're young, we want to have a family while we're young, to be able to give all of our energy to our children. So we definitely obviously did not stop trying, and, you know, we were just praying that God would bless us with another opportunity to have a child. And so that's kind of how our journey started, you know, after my son Kyle. And so postpartum, after having him, obviously there's a period of time after you give birth where you cannot do certain things, like, you know, no intimacy, it's just like kind of like a recovery period. And so you kind of just take it easy and recover from giving birth, you know, like when you deliver at 22 weeks, like, you literally give birth just as you would a full term baby. And so I gave birth, and so I had to recover after that for 6 weeks. And so after that 6 week period, you know, we had this whole thing where we had to find another doctor because our first doctor we had a horrible, horrible, horrible experience with. And so, long story short, you know, we just we decided to find another doctor, and so that's the doctor that we are at right now, our OB, and he is awesome. And so yeah, after that, we were asking him questions about conceiving again, because we, you know, wanted to try to conceive again as soon as we could. And you know, after you give birth, like, you should give yourself some time, obviously, to heal, especially recovering from a loss. Like, not only do you have to heal physically, but you have to heal mentally, emotionally, and all of that, in order to be ready for your next pregnancy. And pregnancy takes a lot out of your body. So, you know, like, you should be preparing and just making sure that you give yourself enough time before the next pregnancy. And so that's kind of what we were talking to our doctor about. And so he recommended, you know, that we, after postpartum, after I had gone through the 6-week kind of recovery period and all of that, and, you know, everything was okay with me, he suggested that we wait about 6 months before we start trying to conceive again. And so, of course, we were just like, oh my God, 6 months? That is a long time, you know, because it takes 9 months to bake. I guess that would lead me to my first question that some of you guys were asking was, were we planning this pregnancy? And I guess a short answer would be yes. I feel like we low-key were planning, but it was also like, okay, like, we're not hardcore, you know, trying to conceive, but if we do, then, you know, like, God willing, hopefully, I don't know, hopefully if God allows it to happen, then, you know, we're obviously going to carry on. And so that's kind of what happened. We found out that we were pregnant with this baby actually on February 19th, which is my son Kyle. That was supposed to be his due date, exactly February 19th, you know, 2020. That was the day that he was supposed to be born. And so that is the day that we got our positive pregnancy test. And so I tell my husband all the time, and anybody who we tell this story to, I'm like, you can't make this stuff up. Like, how crazy is that? And I kind of had a feeling that I was pregnant probably for like a week or two before that. And pretty much every month before that, like, you know, I kind of was like, I kind of was symptom spotting. I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, am I feeling a little lightheaded? Like, am I feeling more hungry than usual? You know, like, when you're low-key trying to conceive, it's like you pretty much monitor everything that happens to your body so you can know as early as possible whether you're pregnant or not. And so that's kind of what I was doing. But I just, you know, I kind of just felt different that month in February. And, you know, so we took a pregnancy test probably honestly, like 5 days before you're even supposed to find out. And that's really just because I'm crazy, guys. Like, I'm a pee on the stick addict. So whatever, like, I'll admit I have a problem. But yeah, so, you know, I was taking a lot of pregnancy tests. Like, I was taking one pretty much every day for at least like 5 or 6 days before we found out that we were pregnant. But they were all coming up negative. And I was just like, okay, I mean, that's weird. I guess maybe I'm not pregnant, but I feel pregnant. So whatever. But I'm like, but it's still early. Like, it's still early. I'm testing early. So let's just see what happens. And so I keep testing, you know, I keep getting negatives. And eventually, you know, we get to the 19th, and I think it was like early morning. It was like really early morning. And so I just decided to test because, you know, like, it's better usually if you test early in the morning. Oh my God, I'm dying. Yeah, and so it's usually better if you test in the morning. So I tested in the morning on the 19th, and that is when the line came up. And it was not a solid line yet, but it was there. Like, if you have taken a pregnancy test before, once you see a line, it's like go time, you know, like even if it's not a solid line, as long as you see a line, that is usually a positive. And so Gino was actually with me because he knew that I was always taking the test, and it kind of made him nervous, which, you know, like I wouldn't suggest for other people to do. Like if you're trying to conceive, I wouldn't necessarily be like testing, and then your husband is just kind of like, okay, like, so, you know, like kind of always expecting something, but then if you don't get anything, it's kind of disappointing. So yeah, I was testing and he was there, and I was just like, I definitely see a line. Like I see it, I'm not crazy. And I thought that I had seen whatever. I thought that I saw it the day before. And I was telling him, I was like, I see a line. Like, I'm not crazy. There's a line there. Like, I know there is. And he was just like, you're crazy. But it turns out that, you know, that next morning the line did come up. And that was my son's due date. And I was just like, God, like, you know, this has to be you. How out of all days do we get a positive pregnancy test on the day that our son, you know, that passed away was supposed to be due? Like, that was so special to us that we found out on that day. And we just felt like God was just all in it. So that was how we found out that we were pregnant. The next things that I'm kind of going to go through are my symptoms that I've been experiencing, or that I experienced the first trimester. I'm in the second trimester now, so I'll tell you guys all about the first trimester. And also other things like intimacy and things like that. You know, how is that during the first trimester? So, okay, so I'll start off with intimacy. You know, I'll just knock that out. So intimacy during the first trimester it was, for me, and of course this is all my experience, every woman is different, every pregnancy is different. So, you know, like just because this was my experience doesn't mean it's gonna be your experience or somebody else's. Like everybody's experience is different. And so for me, during my first trimester, intimacy was like none. Like it was honestly the last thing on my mind, just because I was kind of feeling nauseous this time around. Not nauseous to the point where I was throwing up or anything like that, but I was definitely feeling kind of nauseous. And so I don't know, I just was not really, that was not like top on my priority list, you know, like I was kind of just trying to make it through the days. Like my energy was down, and it was just like a yucky feeling the whole entire first trimester. So that's kind of how that was for me. Intimacy was just not how it usually is. It just wasn't really there. It wasn't really like a priority or something like, you know, to look forward to or anything like that. It was more so like, I'm trying to kind of just get through the day, you know what I mean? So yeah, that is basically that. Okay, so my symptoms, and I'm kind of just gonna give you guys a brief synopsis of each of these because I don't want this video to be super long. But yeah, so okay, so my symptoms. So the first, I think like the first symptoms that I started experiencing, and this was probably a good 2 weeks or something before I even found out that I was pregnant, was vivid dreams. And this is something that I had during my last pregnancy too. But vivid dreams, meaning dreams that were like really lifelike, like dreams that you could like smell things and you could taste things and you're touching things. And it just felt very real and very vibrant. And so I was having those dreams from probably like 2 weeks before I found out I was pregnant, so the first month, up until, I would say up until the third month. I think now the dreams started to kind of die down a little bit, and maybe they'll come back, I don't know, but that was definitely something I had throughout the whole first trimester, was just vivid dreams. And it would just be really weird because I would wake up and I would just be like, wait, was that a dream or is this real life? Like, what's going on? It was just really bizarre. So that was something that I think a lot of women experience too. Okay, so the next thing that I experienced, and this probably started at like week, let me see if I wrote it down. I don't think I did, but I'm pretty sure this started at like week 7 of pregnancy, was insomnia. Oh my God. Like, when I tell you guys that I did not sleep the whole first trimester, like I literally did not sleep. Like, I literally don't remember one night where I slept through the night for a good 8 hours. Like, it just didn't happen. And it wasn't even because I was getting up to pee or anything. Like, it was just because I just could not sleep. Like, I was tossing and turning. It was honestly horrible. And already on top of that, like, my energy was nothing. So to not sleep, like, on top of already not having energy, like, it was rough. It was rough. So yeah, I didn't sleep. That was pretty much every night. Like, for some reason, I just could not get comfortable. I just could not stay asleep. I would wake up in the middle of the night, and then I might fall back asleep again, and then I would wake up again. Or sometimes I just could not fall asleep. And then finally, when I do fall asleep, you know, I sleep for like maybe an hour or two, and then I wake up again, and then I can't fall back asleep. Like, it was a lot. Now that I'm in the second trimester, it's gotten better, and I'll let you guys know how that goes once I'm later in my second trimester. But the first trimester, I literally did not sleep. So insomnia was horrible. The third symptom that I had during my first trimester was having no appetite. And I'm pretty sure most women experience this in their first trimester. That's why it's like the worst, is because you have no appetite, nausea, and stuff like that. But I had like no appetite at all. Like, I did not want to eat anything. Mostly because nothing sounded good. You know when you really want to eat something, or you're like really in the mood to eat something, or you look at something and it like looks really good, it's like, ooh, I want that. Like, I didn't have that with anything. There was nothing that I really, really wanted to eat. And so that just made it really difficult to even eat in the first place, because you don't want to eat, like, but you know you're supposed to eat and you have to eat. And so it kind of just made it like, I don't know, it was just like, I just had no appetite. Like, there was nothing that sounded good. I wrote here that I barely ate one meal a day. I actually lost 3 pounds throughout my first trimester, which I found out probably like 2 weeks ago when I was done with the first trimester. And I went to see my doctor. Yeah, I had lost 3 pounds, which, I mean, I guess is not like horrible. A lot of women lose weight during their first trimester because they throw up and all that, but I wasn't even throwing up. So I don't know. I just was not eating. To go with that, the other thing with not eating was that I was having nausea, and it was not horrible nausea. Like, it wasn't the type of nausea where it was just like I feel seasick, but it was like mild nausea, and it would be like, it wouldn't even be all day. It would be so random, like at random times in the afternoon. So if I would be in the car, for example, I would feel car sick, and I normally don't ever get car sick. Like, I don't get car sick. I don't get sick on cruises, or, you know, like, I just don't get motion sickness like that. And so it was kind of weird, because every time I would be in the car, I'd be like, oh my God, like, this is too much. Like, it was so sad. So yeah, I guess I had car sickness, you can say. But I also just had nausea in general. Like, yeah, it was mostly in the daytime. I didn't really throw up. I never felt nauseous to the point where I had to throw up. But I did feel nauseous. Like, my stomach just felt like just, I don't know, unsettled. So yeah, I had mild nausea. Somebody did ask if I had any cravings or, you know, food aversions, which is like foods that you don't want anything to do with, basically. And so for my cravings, I wrote that I was craving eggs and bacon for the first few weeks, and that's so true. I don't know, for some reason, first of all, I love breakfast, but I'll never get up in the morning to make breakfast. And thankfully, Gino was making me breakfast almost every day for like the first couple of weeks. And he made me eggs. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so good. That was like one of the things that I liked for the first couple of weeks before like the appetite thing kicked in. So eggs and bacon, I was craving that. What else? Veggies, I was also craving veggies. More so like green veggies, like green beans, I think. I don't really remember what else, but like green veggies. I wasn't really feeling fruit for some reason. I normally love fruit. Like I'm normally more of a fruit person than a vegetable person. So I really wasn't feeling fruit for pretty much most of the first trimester. And another craving that I had was grilled cheese sandwiches. And I craved this during my first pregnancy. So it's funny that I craved this again this pregnancy. But yeah, grilled cheese sounded good every now and then, like most of the time. That's something I normally would never ever eat. Like I never would just be like, I really want a grilled cheese sandwich, you know, like. So yeah, that was one of my cravings. Another symptom that I had was increased thirst. Like normally I struggle to drink the normal, you know, amount of water that you're supposed to drink throughout the day. But once I got pregnant, like I just wanted water all the time, like just water, water, water. And I don't even drink a lot even now. Like I probably drink 8 glasses of water a day, but that's way more than I was drinking before. So definitely increased thirst. As you guys can see, another symptom has been shortness of breath. Like I'll talk for literally like 30 seconds and I'm dying. Dying like I ran a mile. So yeah, that's another pregnancy symptom. And that's something I had again with my first pregnancy, but this time it just seems to be even more sad. So if you hear me talking and I'm literally gasping for air, it's because I just can't breathe. Constipation. This might be TMI, but this whole video is TMI, so yeah, constipation. I think I've always kind of struggled with constipation, but it's been normal to me, you know? So, but it hasn't been to like this level. Like constipation has been really bad the first trimester, and even up until now. Like yeah, it's, you know, it's to the point where it's just very uncomfortable. Like I feel just overly full, and when I do, you know, have to go, like it's like a struggle. So that's a TMI, you know, symptom that I've been dealing with, that I've been kind of suffering through, but you know, I'm working to combat that in all the natural ways that I can. So stress. Oh my gosh, stress has been a huge symptom and thing that I've been dealing with this pregnancy. And I think, you know, some of that is because of you know, experiencing a loss so soon, or not so soon, but experiencing a loss that was such a short time ago, and also just experiencing a loss in general. You know, like they say it gets better over time, but I'm sure it's still hard. And so being pregnant, like your hormones are already crazy, your emotions are already crazy, and on top of that, like you've dealt with a loss. So for me personally, like it's been very stressful. Like it's been really hard to not be stressed, because everything stresses me out. Like everything that I do affects this baby. And so I'm kind of like monitoring my every move, and, you know, just trying to remember and keep in mind that God is in control and that I can do my best. But at the end of the day, you know, like I just have to trust and rely on Him. So stress has definitely been something that has been a challenge throughout not only the first trimester, but even up until now. But I will say it's gotten better. It's gotten better for me now, but during the first trimester, like I was extremely stressed out. Oh yeah, I also wrote down too a stress that part of that was because of the whole COVID-19 thing. I mean, obviously being pregnant in a pandemic, like a pandemic that nobody that I know has ever experienced before. That was stressful, especially knowing that I could be high risk. Like, I already am a high risk pregnancy because of my loss, but on top of that, now I'm also high risk for COVID-19. So, I mean, how can you not be stressed? You know, like, that's a lot to deal with, a lot to be worried about. So that's kind of something that was and has been stressing me out throughout this whole entire pregnancy too. Another thing that I kind of have been experiencing, or not have been, but was experiencing during the first trimester, was just being really emotional. Like, I'm normally not an emotional person. I mean, like, I am, like, I'm in my feelings, but it's more so in my head. You know, like, I don't cry at movies, or I don't know, like, I don't like feel super sad or super happy. Like, I'm kind of just chill most of the time. But I have been like, during the first trimester, I was so emotional. That's kind of how I knew that I was pregnant. It's a funny story. I was watching the Super Bowl halftime show after the fact. Like, I watched it on YouTube, and I was watching it and I felt like I was gonna cry. And I was just like if you guys saw the halftime show, it was literally just like J-Lo and Shakira putting on a performance. Like, they were dancing, you know, whatever. It was pretty cool, but for some reason I just wanted to cry, and I was kind of just like, why do I feel like I want to cry right now? Like, this is not even sad. Like, so those are the types of things that were like really weird for me my first trimester that I was just super emotional about. All right, I feel like I've been talking forever, so let me go through the last symptoms here. Skin changes. Pretty much my skin has been a lot more dry than it usually is, and I feel like I probably have dry skin normally. I usually lotion like all the time, like twice a day at least. So yeah, I've had extra dry skin on top of that. So like, when I get out of the shower, I'll be like super itchy because my skin is so dry. Oh my god. And then if I don't put on lotion, then I just look crazy because my skin is so dry. It's like ashy. It's just a struggle. So yeah, my skin has been super dry. That's been kind of annoying. My hair has been, I mean, there hasn't been too many changes, except that I guess it's been pretty long. You know, I have my hair right now, my natural hair in a mini twist, and this is the length that it's at. And normally I feel like my mini twist would be like up to here. But you know, I guess because of prenatals and all that other stuff, like, it promotes hair growth, and so my hair has been, I guess I would say, a little longer. Not really, I don't think a lot fuller, and I don't think thinner. It's just been, I don't know, it's just been longer. Another thing has been breast growth, and you know, I'm not gonna like go into super detail with that, but basically, as you grow and as your body is producing, you know, getting ready to produce milk, your breasts grow, and so that has been something that I have been experiencing. So yeah, there's that. Bloating has also been something that I've been dealing with, just feeling like I'm literally like a hot air balloon all the time. Like, you know, I feel all bloated. I feel like gassy, and it's uncomfortable. So yeah, first trimester I was bloated the whole entire time, like from day one until now. Now it's not as bad, but you know, I was feeling like super bloated for those 3 months pretty much. Yeah, so I think that was pretty much it for my symptoms. Those were just the major things that I was experiencing, and I'm sure I had, you know, other random things that were happening, but that is most of what I was experiencing, and like the most major things, you know, that I noticed. Yeah, so that was kind of my first trimester in a nutshell, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. The last thing is my bump. I'll give you guys a quick bump update. I don't know if you call it a bump date or whatever, but you know, I'll show you guys what my bump looks like really quick. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please, like I said, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you look out for the next pregnancy / life update / lifestyle videos that I'll be releasing very soon. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, you know, or if there's anything that you can relate to, or if any of you are pregnant, I would love, you know, to chat with you and connect with you. And, you know, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But that is about it, you guys. So I will see you in the next one. Later.